Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot coming at you with a weekly comic book roundup. We are actually at the finale for this week's roundup. So kicking things off, we've got the variants number 2. Where we left off, it's nearing the 10th anniversary of when Purple Man taking over Jessica Jones's mind. She has recently she started having migraines, potentially even blackouts, and her and Matt Murdock spoke with another past victim of Purple Man's, who advised Jessica to stay away from her family for the next few days because apparently Purple Man put a time bomb in this other woman's head, which when it went off led to her killing her family. That said, Jessica has just encountered a couple of variants of herself. One which is just like her, while the other one is apparently Captain America. So we open with a flashback to 4 years ago. Tigra was working with, was doing some, was helping Jess out with with PI stuff, and Tigra extends an invitation to join A-Force, which is at this point in time just starting up. But they're at a diner having breakfast. And Tigra leaves after kissing Jess, which was kind of a surprise there. In the present, Jess is trying to figure out what's going on when her and Luke Cage's daughter Danny shows up, seeing basically three of her mom, but runs straight to the one that she knows is her mom, and apparently Danny's 3.5. Just recently stopped sleeping in a crib. But a fight breaks out. One of the variants, the not Cap variant, attack. Takes a swing at Jess, and the Cap variant is about to throw hands when Luke shows up and throws her into a wall. But then Jess has where her migraines hits and she passes out. In her mind, apparently Kilgrave's there and reminds her to check on the previous victim. It should be noted also that Maria, the previous victim of Purple Man's, basically describes what she went through as being a test run for what Purple Man put Jess through. Apparently, Maria hung herself in her cell. Jess tells Luke that he needs to take Danny, go somewhere that she won't know where we wouldn't even think to find them. She calls She-Hulk and goes out on the roof when Daredevil shows up. And they hug, and Jess kisses Daredevil, and she tells him to go away before she hurts him, and then she flies off. Later, She-Hulk's there for Jess and punches her a few times. Tells her what's going on, and basically she wanted to make sure that, you know, there was someone keeping an eye on her. Just make, you know, that she couldn't just, you know, punch and walk away. So there's a loud noise from one of the other rooms. Jess and Jen go to investigate, and Jewel is there. Jewel being Jess's teenage superhero and alter ego. And that is where the issue ends. Yet not digging the whole Jess kissing Matt thing. That was... doesn't feel right. It is interesting to note that no one seems to be batting an eye about the idea of Tiger and or Jessica Jones being bi, but yeah. Oh well. Otherwise, you know, interesting story. Like I said, it's just that scene of her and Daredevil just feels so off. That's the best way to put it. Anyway, moving on to our next book, we've got Detective Comics number 1062. So this is the start of a brand new arc written by Ram V. Let's see, did I get a name? Does have it. Gotham Nocturne Overture, Part 1. So, Gotham City, there's an opera being performed. There's a sequence where a man standing over his dead lover, and a large bat-shaped demon reaches out, apparently for him. There's an empty seat in the house reserved for Bruce Wayne. Empty because, well, Bruce is busy tracking smugglers on the East Side docks. They've got a specialized weapon, it would seem. Bruno Maroni, who's mutated into something. Kind of looks like Grundy, but worse. Batman's not going to have an easy time dealing with Maroni when Talia shows up and puts a crossbow bolt through Maroni's head. But even that only slows him down, apparently. Talia justifies herself and also insults Batman's code before leaving. When she leaves, however, she states that she's come to warn him. They're coming, and he is not prepared. But upon returning to his brownstone, Bruce checks his blood. Tox screen's normal. Blood samples normal. Laceration cutting response normal. The only tissue sample he was able to get from Maroni was ash. But it seems he's feeling his heart rate seems a bit elevated. But he talks with Nightwing, and Nightwing ends up eventually asking, suggesting that maybe Bruce is just starting to get too old, become too old for being Batman. But he also asks what the smugglers were smuggling, antiques mostly. A few were brought back with him. Some of them were quite old, valuable possibly. One of them he's looking at is a cube, a box, some kind of contraption within. Very complex for how old it is. Beyond that, it's both familiar and alien at once, he states. Can't seem to put a finger on a period or location that it comes from. And a young man by the name of Arzin is met by his mother, apparently in the Orgum Palace in Svartersdal. And but there are people who he's coming to Gotham apparently, and he has associates who will be joining him, as well as one already there, who is preparing for his arrival. Apparently, he's the reason that the smuggling. And he's not happy that what was being smuggled was taken. His associates are promptly killed by others. Elsewhere, Bruce has a dream of a bat demon ripping through his chest. Wakes up, and apparently the box is open. It's a music box. And that is where the beginning of the overture concludes. Our backup story focuses on Jim Gordon, back after his trying to cross the world to go after the Joker. He's become something of a private detective. Not officially or anything, but apparently what's left of Arkham, it's become a place for certain types of people in Gotham to hang out. But apparently a detective from GCPD brings a prostitute to the bar for Gordon. Not necessarily for the purposes of her plying her trade, but apparently her son is missing. She explains that maybe her son is dealing a little. There's a place kids go to trade and take, Arkham. And so Gordon offers to try and find her, to find her son, which brings him to Arkham. Apparently, he finds 13 bodies. Dead from nerve gas. Likely the nerve gas was used in the A-Day attack. But he also finds fresh blood, which he follows the trail. And finds someone named Jonas. That is where the issue ends. interesting start to things. Definitely a bit odd. Does not, I'll be honest, it does not feel like a Batman comic. But we'll see where things go with it. Moving on to our next book, we've got Harley Quinn number 17. And yes, once again, we have a sideways variant cover. The issue itself is not sideways. Where we left off, Harley had discovered Verdict's identity, and Verdict opened fire on her. So we begin with with Harley and Verdict having a boxing match. Wildcat's coaching Harley. Ivy's there to cheer her on. But then Verdict pulls a gun and he shoots her, which causes Harley to wake up. She was shot in the shoulder, grazed. Batwoman took her to Leslie Tompkins. We patched her up. And she gets kind of caught up on things. And asks if Kevin knew, and Kevin explains that he didn't know until just before she showed up. But Kevin's apologetic that because of him seeing Sam, Harley got shot. But Harley tells him, hey, look, yeah, sure, Sam trusted her. Or Kevin trusted Sam. And Harley wouldn't tell him to do it any other way. Explaining that Kevin opened himself up to someone, and maybe it doesn't work this time, but, it shouldn't stop him from being vulnerable again. Sam's lies are Sam's problem, and Sam's choice. She's the one that messed it all up. And apparently, Harley's been evicted from her apartment. Batwoman informs, too, that they found Verdict. Apparently, she's claiming to have rigged City Hall with explosives and plans to blow it up. Also locking the doors. So, Batwoman and Harley going through an access tunnel, and it turns out, yes, there are explosives. Nakano tries to talk things through with Verdict. Harley enters and delivers a bit of an ass whooping. But before Verdict can do anything, Kevin shows up, tries to talk her down, and so Kevin breaks up with Sam. Sam triggers the detonator, which apparently the bomb's been defused, and so Harley gets up and knocks Verdict out. Verdict is arrested, and the city is going to publicly apologize to Harley. Kevin and Harley celebrate, and on her way to presumably Blackgate. On Sam's way to Blackgate, however, the prison vehicle is stopped, and she's released by Bronze Tiger and Killer Frost. Their boss wants to meet Verdict. They'll be continued in Task Force XX. But that is where the issue ends. And next month, we'll actually be getting Harley on a weekly basis to celebrate her 30th anniversary. So, yeah. Got 4 issues of Harley's solo book, as well as the 2022 annual. Moving on to our next book, we've got Batman Fortress, number 3. Where we left off, an An alien ship was disrupting communications and power the world over, and so the inhabitants of the ship ended up in Smallville, where they destroyed the Kent farm, all while looking for Superman, who's apparently off world. Batman led the Justice League in an assault on the alien ship, which resulted in a massive amount of injuries. Both Aquaman being taken prisoner, and well, Cyborg seemingly dead. Though he did manage to get a lot of scanning information, a lot of sensor information, and so Batman returned to the cave with Cyborg's head, which is where we begin with Bruce looking at Cyborg's head, and Alfred, well, saying that it's not at all disconcerting. But But Batman, he's not trying to bring back Cyborg. But he does try to get allies by contacting the Guardians of the Universe, who are apparently keeping the Lanterns out of this conflict. In Metropolis, the aliens that were searching for Superman have arrived. They find a building with the S shield spray painted on it, which they promptly destroy. They're faced with the military, which then once tank round proves useless, they're teleported elsewhere. At the Daily Planet, they run it. Seems like the essence they're searching for is going to be centered around Clark Kent's desk when Perry White comes out with a shotgun and tells him to get out. And there's no way Clark Kent's Superman. But Perry is turned to a pile of ash. Meanwhile, Batman has another possible ally to speak with, though not someone he'd want to. This ally being a CIA black site in Western Australia. It's the President, Lex Luthor, who's at least who's considering the possibility of using nuclear weapons on the alien vessel. Batman shows up, makes his way to the Secret Service like as if they were tissue paper. Batman tells us what he knows about the ship and figures that, hey, maybe some Kryptonian tech that is in the fortress could help. And well, honestly, Batman convinced Lex that we're going to rob Superman's house. Which, I mean, hey, understandable. That is where the issue ends. Which brings us to our last book for the week. Batman, One Dark Night, Book 3. Where we left off... Batman, so, the, a medic by EMP was supposed to be transferred from Arkham to a specialized cell in Blackgate. 5 years previously, EMP had his powers triggered in Gotham, and things got a little messed up. So, the various criminal organizations of Gotham want to take down EMP. EMP's gang want him back, and of course, it being Gotham, they've got help from the inside, including one of the head of Gotham's prison system, of Gotham's prison system, who's going after EMP's apparent child. EMP's gone underground. He's in the sewers. Batman's followed. He finds EMP, but his gang is butchered all around him. He's attacked by some of the people living in the sewers who apparently worship Croc and want to make Batman an offering to Croc. But Batman fights Croc and his cultists. The gangs call a truce to take down EMP. The prison advisory person is called in an aid from some of Gotham's crooked cops, but one of the cops with him was not crooked, and so he is put down. Using a phosphorus flare, Batman is able to get away from the cultists surrounding Killer Croc, and he manages to bring down Croc. Back at the cave, Alfred's trying to get back online, and comes up, contacts Batman, but the signal is breaking up. That said, Batman is at the Blackgate Bridge by 5:30 in the morning, and all those Gotham criminals, they're formed up like an army ready to attack, and they do. The bridge gets a massive hole blown in it. EMP on one side, Batman and the criminals on the other. Vasquez brings EMP's son Brody to him. He's starting to lose control of his powers, though. The idea being that she's going to try and basically turn all of Brody's anger towards EMP, but instead they reunite as father and son. Batman's able to get free. And Vasquez explains her entire plan. EMP is dropped into the bay, but the head of Gotham's entire prison service has detailed her entire plan to Batman, and Jim Gordon was listening in. EMP is found in Gotham Bay, still alive, and is to be taken to Blackgate. And that is where the series ends. So, One Dark Knight was definitely made for an interesting book. I kind of like the idea of it. I think it was a really cool idea, basically, having Batman rely less on tech and more on just skill for once. It's not like he doesn't have to rely on. He rarely has to rely on skill normally, but usually he's also got some tech backup. Oracle in his ear. Various other gadgets, but I kind of like the idea of this being Batman without access to all that for a moment. But anyway, that is going to do it for this week. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying, live long and rock hard.